Tyler there. Hey, so let me welcome everybody to this July 5th Parks and Rec Committee meeting. And looks like we have a quorum. I see Fred Perry, Gary Dukes, myself, and Chad. Would that be correct? And Commissioner Carson, okay. I don't know how I just spoke her and just forgot about that one. Okay, all right, with that being said, so we got a quorum and we'll go ahead and get this meeting started. Did everybody get a chance to look over the meeting minutes of the last meeting?
Yes.
If there are any changes or any adjustments that's needed, please speak up now. Looks like there are none. I guess we'll go ahead and stand those minutes will be stand approved. And outside of that, Gary, I guess you want to jump into this brief minute.
Okay.
Brief meeting? Okay.
Okay.
On the agenda, rather.
Yes.
Okay.
Just wanted to give you an update on the Chestnut Log negotiation with the school board. You asked me to go ahead and move forward with trying to get that resolved. So I met with Kirk Nicholson, the facilities manager for the Board of Ed, and also Eric Collins, the athletic director. And we had a meeting over at the Board of Ed, and we got a verbal agreement as to who would pay for what, addressing the netting and the fencing at Chestnut Log. They asked me to come back, put that in writing to them. They will then take it to whoever is going to sign off on it and get the formal approval, and we should be ready to go, bring it back here to the Recreation Oversight Committee, get it approved, and hopefully move forward with the repairs.
Got it. And just understand, so everybody be clear that they're actually doing whatever they, I guess, the netting costs, and anything beyond that will pick up because we only got about, Gary, correct me, $45,000 or $50,000 on their end. We got roughly about 70 or 75 on our end. That's all that's been approved to spend.
Yes. What we decided to do, Commissioner, was just go ahead and address the netting and the fencing. Those were the two main things right now. Right. It won't take up all the funds, but we wanted to go ahead and move forward and get those done. So we fixed it so it would be divided within $1,000 of both contributions, and we can go ahead and get that done, and then possibly start some new negotiations with the next project.
And here's what I will add, though, and speaking with Mr. North, that this is just not, these are just two of the projects of the many projects that's needed at that particular field. So correct. We will be addressing some other things, but right now we just want to kind of get started and take the baby steps in getting that area, at least that parks, up to at least a decent standard. But at least this is a great start in the right direction of the fencing and the netting, from my understanding. So
yes, the fencing and netting was a priority due to the fact it was a safety issue with the balls, rolling through the parking lot and that sort of thing. So we felt like we just go ahead and get this completed and then start talking about the bigger projects, the lighting, the paving, and possibly a building.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. So any other questions in reference to that we'll put it on the floor if anybody got any other questions? Okay. All right, Gary, go right on.
Okay, the last item we have is I got a request from Madam Chair to go to the SPLOSH committee and talk about the possibility of moving forward with the 4 sets of playground equipment. We've been in need of playground equipment for some time. And, we've taken parts off, put parts back. And in the case of your district, Commissioner Mitchell, we've actually had to shut down the playground equipment due to the fact of the repeating flooding over there. and that playground equipment is no longer usable. So she requested that we see if the splash committee thought there was enough funds available to go ahead and move forward with the 4 new sets of playground equipment. So I did get with Terry Gable, and he said that well, I'll just let Terry, I'm sure Terry's on. Terry, are you there out there?
If not, I see David.
David,
Terry's on vacation.
Oh, okay. David, we talked. You were in on that meeting, weren't you, David?
I was on the previous meeting where we talked about these funds being,
Okay.
And that was something that you guys talked about as part of the reforecast.
Right.
And
the playground is on the reforecast committee, by the way, and has been asked in previous budgets. So there's a big need for it. And I spoke with Terry, and Terry felt like that the money, as long as the money keeps coming in, as it has been, that the funds would be there to purchase the playground equipment. We're talking about $400,000, $100,000 per set, and it's 4 sets. And it just happens that it turns out there's 1 set in each district, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that needs to be replaced badly. So, and that would include the cost of putting the playground in, installing the playground as well. So what we're talking about is a figure up to, not to exceed $400,000 for the four sets of playground equipment. So she asked that I bring that to the board to see if we could move forward with getting those playgrounds installed.
Well, okay, so let's have a discussion. Commissioner Carthen, any discussions about any input on that?
So Director Dukes, can you remind us of what else is on the reforecast list? Because I thought we kind of did a priority list, if I'm not mistaken. And so where are we? Where do we stand for that? When we reprioritize the list with the excess funds that came in, where do we stand with that?
Commissioner Carthen,
Yes.
we did have a good morning, by the way.
Good morning.
We did have a reforecast list, but there really was never a priority set as far as what was going to be addressed. Although the fencing and the dugouts for Bill Arp and Fair Play were the number 1 priority, we felt like, because they were on the original list as well. So that was a priority. As far as the other part of the list, and David, you might want to address this, we felt like we would get to certain items as we could, or as we felt like we could. There was never exact priority unless I missed something. David, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The dugouts were foremost, along with the I believe the roof and the flooring at Deer Lick.
Right.
And then I believe in conversation there was about making sure we get into the netting at Chestnut Log, and then anything else as we come on. I think Commissioner Mitchell even mentioned those that were don't want to say quick wins, but those that we can actually get to, and that was including any of the playground units or anything else. I think the only thing that was even pushed further down the list was some updates over at the pool. I believe that's the only thing that was actually pushed further down in that.
So I thought so. I thought we talked about safety and some of the things that needed to be repaired instead of kicking the can down the aisle. Um,
I did just pull one of the reforecast lists. I'm sure it's the latest one, or I think it is. And it just so happens that the playground was listed second. Not that, like I
okay.
said, not that that was a priority list, but
Mhm.
they were listed second.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it. I just wanted to make sure, and it would be a quick win, $100,000 for each playground. They are needing to be updated. I guess since we're going into the winter months, a better time than any, since you probably wouldn't, after this summer, you probably wouldn't have too many people coming out to play on them. So that would be a good time to replace them, repair them without any inconvenience, except for the one that you had to shut down in Commissioner Mitchell's district. So would we have to go out? Do you already have a list of vendors, Director Dukes, or would this have to be put out for bid, or how would we do this?
Yes, we have a list of vendors, but yes, we'd have to put it out for bid, Commissioner.
Mhm.
And you're right. It would be a good time to do it because the supply chain, issue. We don't know how long it would take to get them. The playground that we had put in down at the new activity center, we were told it would be July, and it ended up being, we were told it'd be June, and it ended up being August, I think, before we actually got it. So there could be some delay in the supply chain, but
Mhm.
this would be a good time to go ahead and move on it if you so desire.
Got you. All right. Well, thank you for that, Commissioner Mitchell. I yield the floor back to you.
Got it. Okay. And just one other thing, though, just make sure we don't miss the mark of we're looking at the dollars as they come in, and based on the dollars, David, I don't know if you can probably step in and answer this though. Based on the dollars that are coming in, that's what we're kind of looking at to determine if by chance we can kind of move and get ahead of this versus getting too far ahead of what the count is, because that number could change and that could push some things around that may or may not make it again. So I don't want to get too far ahead, but I get the mere fact of taking off and taking this one and kind of, taking this low hanging fruit and do it and letting the citizens take part in this during this summer and definitely fall. So.
Yeah, right. Looking at the numbers right now, we are, as you would say, we are good because we've had a couple of months of well over the 2 almost 1 million. We brought in this last month, I believe it was supposed to be around 2.9. The last two before that was a little bit over 3 million. So right now we are looking good as far as the numbers are concerned. And then as we get further down the road, we'll see how things pan out. Most important was actually getting that bill up at fair play. So once we get that out, we saw where the finances were.
Okay. Well, I think we're strong, and I'm confident that we'll continue to be as strong, if not stronger. But I just don't want us to kind of miss the mark of we fall short. If we did fall short, we don't miss some of the safety items that we spoke about months ago. So that's on that list.
Right. And I believe, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe one of those safety items you just recently got approved for the aquatic center, correct?
Yes, hot water heaters. Yes, for the aquatic center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
just want to make sure.
But I'm okay though. I'm like Commissioner Carter. I'm okay, just as long as, like I said, we don't miss the mark, or at least I know this is all forecast and forecasting. But at the end of the day, just as long as we feel confident that we'll get there with these low hanging fruits and everything will be fine. So, but okay. Anybody else got anything to add to that though? Okay. Well, Gary, I think we either. Is there a need for a vote to move this forward, or because I think it sounds like the team is on board to move forward with this stuff. So.
Yes, sir. I think what we need to do now, if everyone's in agreement, is possibly take a vote that I move forward with getting the reforecast list has already been approved by the board. but have a vote to allow me to move forward to get bids for the equipment and then present to the board for approval of those bids at sometime in the future.
Sounds good. Anybody would like to make a motion to move that item forward?
Did you just do it? So second.
No. Okay, well, I made the motion. Okay, cool. There's a second by Commissioner Carthen. And with that, any comments? Anybody got any comments want to speak on in reference to this item before we go through the voting process? If not, Gary Dukes, either you're for or against that particular item to move forward as approval?
Yes.
Commissioner Carthen?
Yes.
Brett Perry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mitchell? Yes. And Chad, I think Chad, you're here, correct?
Yes, sir. Chad Rippon, yes.
Okay, so that's unanimous vote to move this item forward. So Gary, you need that and it stands approved. So Gary, you'll go ahead and put it out for bid and do your process, and then we'll take it to the full board once we get the vendors that we think or should be moving this particular item. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's all the items we had on the agenda today, Commissioner.
Okay. I guess I'll just chime in. Okay, I don't know if Commissioner Carthen want to talk and speak to her big item that we did at Pumpkin Town Park and moving some dirt out there. So I don't know if you want to speak to that before we close out the meeting.
Sure. I'd love to give the team a big shout out and a thank you. Things were definitely popping on Thursday. We got a chance to do the groundbreaking. It was very momentous. Again, I called Director Dukes and thanked him personally. I'd also like to thank you, Chad, for all of your hard work and all that went into that day. I know we had storms that day and trees and everything else was down, but you guys made it happen anyway, and the citizens were very pleased. It was, I think, a team effort. I also want to thank Connect Douglas for having the buses and the vans there to take people down so that we wouldn't, have too many cars down there since the gravel and everything hadn't been put down for parking. I think it was a great day, and I look forward to this project kicking off and getting started, and the bridge going in and the ribbon cutting and the trails and the gazebo. Everybody just looks forward to it. It's a beautiful piece of property. And I think the citizens of Douglas County will be pleased once it is completed. So again, thank you all for all your hard work and your efforts.
And I'd just like to add to say thank you for even, making sure that Mike Mulcair, Commissioner Mulcair, actually was a part of this whole groundbreaking ceremonial piece. So thank you again for at least assuring that he would be a part of this. So thank you. Mr. Perry, anything before we close out?
Mr. Mitchell, I would like to echo the thoughts of Commissioner Carthen, and that attended the groundbreaking ceremony there at Pumpkin Town. That was actually my first time being at the park, and it is a very, very beautiful, serene piece of property, very picturesque, and I look forward to whatever changes are going to be made there. So I can go out there and just it's a place where you can just go out and think. The birds are chirping, and it's really a really good natural setting, something that is going to take the Parks and Recs department to another level. It's it was very nice seeing former Commissioner Mulcair there as well. He was very emotional and very appreciative of Commissioner Carthen extending the invite to him. So just was good all around for Douglas County. So Gary, to you and your team, kudos, and Commissioner Carthen. I think they said it once, if they didn't say it a million times, how tenacious you were in making this happen. So kudos to you as well. And I just look forward to enjoying the changes once they come about.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. And Vice Chairman Robinson said it best, just listen.
Yeah.
And pause, just listen. So, now, job well done. Mr. Good, anything you'd like to add before we close out the meeting?
No, sir. We were able to cover it all.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I guess, Chad? Oh, you're all good?
Yep, I'm here. No, no sir, I have nothing else.
And Mr. Dukes, I guess I'll let you kind of get the final words and we'll close out and adjourn this meeting.
Okay, Commissioner, that's all we had. I would like to thank Rick Martin and his staff as well. They did a good job, you know, with they always do, putting the equipment together for us and the podium and having that part of the ceremony ready for us.
Well, Parks and Rec look extremely well at what we do and how we do what we do. And again, to your team, Gary, and everybody else who was part of this and making this all come together, job well done. Thank you again. With that being stated, outside of that, I guess this meeting will stand adjourned. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I guess we'll catch up at 10 o'clock.